Greetings, my dear friends and fellow patriots and truth seekers worldwide. This is Steve Motley broadcasting to you from Boise, Idaho, here on Election Day. It's early morning on the third day of November in the year of our Lord 2020, and I know many of us never thought this day would arrive, but it is here. It is indeed going to be an interesting day. We're going to have an interesting week, an interesting month, and an interesting future. And I'm just so thankful and grateful that I am able to once again upload a video for all you wonderful patriots and truth seekers out there, wherever you may be. I have been in YouTube prison for the past 10 days. And I couldn't believe it. Today, I just attempted to upload the video that I shot yesterday, and all of a sudden, it went through. And so apparently, I am completely out of YouTube prison, and I can now upload videos again. And so that's what I'm going to do here today. I am going to start this election day off right. I'm going to share with you some absolutely astonishing information that many of you may not even be able to comprehend. You may not even believe it. I hope that, I was going to say I hope that what I'm going to tell you isn't true, but I know it is, and so there's no way I can sugarcoat what I've got to tell you. And I don't think that bad news is like a fine wine. It does not get better with age. So I guess I better just cut to the chase and jump right into this, because you need to know. Every one of you need to prepare yourself for what is about to happen. And I was thinking earlier today, how in the world do I go about explaining all of this to you wonderful souls out there that are seeking the truth? You want some good, solid information. And a lot of times on my videos, I know some of you are new, so I got to fill in a few blanks. But a lot of times I'll tell you viewers, I say, don't believe a word I say, but you know the rest of it. However, if I say something that makes sense, write it down. Then go do your own research and due diligence and come to your own conclusions. I think that's a good way to go about it regardless. But today I'm going to take an exception to that, and I'm going to really encourage all of you to pay very close attention to this video and the things I'm going to share with you, because number one, I could assure you, you're not going to get any of this information from mainstream media. And you're also not going to get a lot of it from alternative patriot media. Now, you may be able to get some here and some there, but you're not going to get it put together in a package deal the way I'm going to share it with you. Now, I got quite a few wonderful, loyal viewers, and many of you have reached out and wanted to know what was going on with me, and did you lose your channel? Are you coming back? And I said, I don't know. I said, right now they put me in this unable to upload videos mode for going on. It was 10 days. And I guess that's what my limit was. I was in there for 10 days, and on the 11th day, which just so happened to be the day before the election, they give me my privileges back. And I don't want to lose them again, because I think some of the information I'm going to be sharing with you here and into the future is critical, okay? Now, let me start by telling you that this past Sunday night, a whistleblower came forward, a man. Well, we don't know if it's a man or a woman, to be honest with you. They came out as anonymous, but they also provided documentation. It's always good to have documentation that can substantiate whatever it is that you want to say. Now, I've been on the phone all day long. I've been talking to my sources, different people, both in the military, out of the military, and I am getting some incredible knowledge that I'm putting together. I'm able to connect some dots because of my background, some of the things I do know. And friends, I'm telling you, you can take what I'm about to tell you with a grain of salt, however you want to, but it's well researched, it's well documented, and truth is, it is stranger than fiction. You're going to find that out at the end of this video when you've heard me tell you what I got to share with you. Now, number one, I got to tell you that there's a group called the Sunrise Movement. Now, people vary as to how long they think this movement's been around. I say it's been around at least since President Trump was elected in 2016. Could have been around even longer. But in addition to the Sunrise Movement, there are multiple secretive, clandestine type groups that have come together and planned an extensive coup to take out President Trump should he be elected for a second term. Well, I think it's beyond a reasonable doubt at this point to believe that President Trump is going to win by a massive red tsunami. It could be one of the biggest, one-sided elections in the history of America. Now, I spent 24 days in Florida during this month of October. And I had the good fortune to attend 4 different Trump rallies. I saw the OV-22s come in. I saw President Marine One land on several occasions. Other times I saw the president come in on a motorcade. But every time the man made an entrance, it was like a rock star. This guy it's amazing the people like myself that believe in President Donald J. Trump with all our heart and soul. I have never been one to question, I don't agree with everything the president does, and I'm sure most of you don't either. But, God uses imperfect people to put in the perfect position. President Trump was destined by God to be our 45th president. There's no question in my military mind about that, and neither should there be in yours. But I'm telling you that he is going to win by a landslide. But one thing we have known for weeks now, and we're doing the best that we can to prepare for it, and that is the fact that the Democrats have decided unanimously that no matter what the outcome of the election tomorrow night, the Democrats, are not going to concede. They're not going to accept the Trump election. They have gone so far, the state of Pennsylvania and New Jersey have already, here on the wee morning hours of the election day, they've already declared Joe Biden the winner. Now, I don't know really how you can do that, but that's what these evil, demonic governors are saying. Now, friends, I've got a lot of territory to cover in this video, and I want you to pay close attention. And I'm going to be jumping around a bit, but I'll be filling in blanks. I'll be going back in time to explain certain things to you that happened and why we ended up how we are today. But let me just say, for all you new folks out there, and I know there are many, I know there's many of you that have recently taken the red pill. A lot of you have just recently walked off the plantation, and you've decided you're no longer going to be a slave of those freaking Democrat pedophile demons. And I want to congratulate all of you watching my video right now that have made that decision. Now, there may be some of you watching this video that have still not decided who you're going to vote for when you walk into that precinct today. I find that almost hard to believe, but I know, again, truth is stranger than fiction, and there will be some watching this video that are yet undecided. Let me speak to you first. Friends, you absolutely must believe that faith precedes a miracle. If for no other reason, please put your faith 100% in retired Marine Sounds Off Steve Motley, because I'm not going to lead you astray. I know from what I speak. And you need to go into that voting booth and cast your vote for Donald J. Trump as president, and then vote an entirely red ticket. That means do not vote for any Democrats under any circumstance. Vote for Republicans whether you know them or not. Just take a chance that they're going to do better than any kind of Democrat could, because the Democrats are all united on one front to do two things. Number one, get rid of President Trump, get him out of the White House by hook or crook, or as Malcolm X would say, by any means necessary. And that is exactly where they are today on the morning of the election. They are not going to tolerate another 4 years of Donald Trump. These demonic, delusional Democrats think of President Trump as an actual Hitler, a Nazi dictator that they can no longer allow to occupy the White House. Now, the truth of the matter is the reason they're so deranged and delusional and suffer from mental illness is because Donald Trump is an outsider. He's not a politician. He came blowing in here 4 years ago. He's draining the hell out of the swamp. He's catching these crooks at every turn, and they have been exposed, and they don't like it, and they don't want to go to prison or to the electric chair, so they're fighting everything, and they're not going to concede. They are going to continue to contend that Donald Trump lost the election and that he has to be removed from the White House. Friends, we are going to see the beginning of the kinetic or shooting war tomorrow or today. It's going to start today. There will be people killed in this country. There may be very many killed today on Election Day, because the Democrats have been given the word that they have lost. There is no mathematical feasible way that they can beat Donald Trump for this next presidential term. They know it. They are resigned to it. So now they're moving into Plan B. Plan B is Antifa, BLM, and all these other subversive groups are going to once again start rearing their ugly head today, and they're going to start burning and looting and all across America. Now, there was a whistleblower that came out from the Sunrise Movement. I'll get more into what the Sunrise Movement is later, but suffice it to say, a whistleblower, a deep insider in that program, came forward Sunday night and said, I am not going to go along with this. These people are insane. So I'm going to drop a dime that's going to hit like a manhole cover. And here's the deal. I've got documents. I've got Zoom recorded calls. I've got phone conversations. I've got everything you need to understand what's going on here. But here's the bottom line. I'm going to cut to the bottom of it. I'm going to cut through the minutia, friends, and give you the full enchilada. So, and you can connect these dots any way you need to get a bigger, 35,000-foot view of what's going on here. And then I encourage you to do more research, but because of the lack of time, we are out of time. The sand has ran out of the damn hourglass, and either you're going to listen to what I got to tell you and take necessary action, or you're going to cast this off as some bullshit story that Steve made up. It's your prerogative. The ball's going to be in your court. As always, I'm once again serving as the messenger. And we all know you don't shoot the damn messenger. You give the messenger an opportunity to present his story or the information he or she has to share, and then you make up your own mind. But don't ever make up your mind too hastily. And you make sure you got all the facts and all the knowledge you need before you pass judgment. And then you should weigh it all out. Use the preponderance of evidence. What would a reasonable man or woman conclude about this situation given the amount of evidence I have? You always got to weigh the evidence, the pros and the cons. Figure it out for yourself. That's why God gave you a mind so you can think. But too many people don't think. Somebody asked Dr. Einstein, Albert Einstein, after World War II, they said, Dr. Einstein, why do people continue to do the stupid things that they do, like go into war to kill each other? Remember, friends, we're not the patriots. We, the people, are not starting this war. We will end it, and we will succeed in our efforts. God bless America. But let me tell you what Dr. Einstein said. He thought for a second. He said, people simply don't think. And the reporter said, well, that seems very simplistic. He said, it is. He said, people just don't stop long enough to think about the consequences of their actions. Now, the actions that the Democrats are going to take tomorrow, the Antifa, the BLM, these are actions that will be perpetrated by completely insane, brainwashed individuals. You know, they rank it, I mean, they come in all shapes, sizes, and ages. But I would say they start around 15 through 49, 50, something like that. These were the nut jobs that didn't get the same kind of public education that a lot of us older folks did. If you're 50 and above, you probably got some of the old school training, and you pledged allegiance to the flag of the United States of America kind of thing. You may even be old enough like me to remember praying in the schools. Oh yeah, we live in a whole different world today, friends, than we used to. But I can tell you the world is changing, and the world is never going to be the same as it was when we were kids. But one of the things that came out of this whistleblower from the Sunrise Movement is that tomorrow there are going to be 400 cells, or what they call pods. There are 400 pods across the country, starting with Washington, D.C., and these pods are made up of what are called infinity groups. Infinity groups are Antifa, BLM, MS-13, any of your other criminals that you can muster to join these infinity groups, which will be in support of the pods. The pods have one mission, and that is to destroy the cities where they are located. The Democratic, radical, leftist, pedophilic freakzoids plan to destroy your city. Most likely, those of you watching this video, you live in a city or town that's on the 400 pod list. And the infinity groups are going to be there to support your every order. And this is made up of people within the federal government. The number one goal is to take to the streets, start to burn, create chaos, kill people. Now, this time, these demons are given authorization, and they actually believe it in their own minds, that since we, the people, or the patriots, are Nazis because we support Hitler, a.k.a. Donald Trump, then they have the license to kill. So all you patriots need to be completely awake, and you need to be prepared. Now, if you have not yet gotten your extra boxes of ammo, if you have not gone out and been one of the thousands and thousands of new gun buyers, the month of October was the number one month for gun sales ever in the history of America. We were up over 600%, and there was something like 50% were new gun buyers, first-time buyers. So the people are waking up. But the thing that disturbs me, I went into a gun store today here in Idaho, and the place was packed with cars. But walking from where I parked my car into the gun store, I had to pick up some more shotgun shells. Had to get some, you can't hardly find 12 gauge buckshot. I mean, it's sold out I finally found one place a great little gun shop that I go to, and they had I bought what they had left. They didn't have that much, and so I just figured, well, shit, I'm gonna buy enough to hold me for a while. And I did the same thing with 5.56. I've got, I got my magazines here with my 5.56, and I've got 20 round mags, and I've also got a bunch of 30 round mags. You know what I mean? But see, your gun, your rifle, your weapon is only as good as your ammunition. Don't ever cut corners on the quality of ammunition, because if you're in a gunfight, the last thing you want is a jam. Now, all you AR-15 people, don't forget, when you load your magazines like this, whether it's a 30 or 20, you tap them bad boys. On your helmet, or, tap them. Make sure those rounds are seated properly, because you don't want no hang fires. So always tap. Now I wanted to show y'all one of my new weapons. Just do a real quick show and tell. I'm really proud of this. I'm really excited about this weapon. This is an AR-15 5.56 NATO rounds, and got my little extension here. But absolutely wonderful weapon. It's a Smith & Wesson. I'm locked and loaded right there. I got a red dot scope. I like hard sights, I'm really into hard sights, but I got my hard sights coupled with my red dot, and so, I'm ready to go on this. Let me take this out real quick. Anyway, I hope all of you went and did what I said. I hope you went and got your weapons, ahead of time. That's very important. And anyway, I wanted to show you that. And also, I've had several of you ask me about what I recommend you carry, both men and women, and what kind of holster you should get. Well, look, there's a new holster out. I don't know how long it's been. It's fairly new. It's called a sticky holster. And it's made out of this really interesting fabric, but you can get a right hand, left hand. They're pretty much either way. But I like a 9mm. I mean, I got revolvers and stuff, but this is a Taurus. It's real inexpensive, but they're very. I've had a Taurus for many years. I got a 357 Taurus, but I like the feel of these. They're really lightweight. They're very effective, and I also like the fact that the magazine, holds, this particular mag holds 15 rounds, 15 9mm. And, when I put it in, I like to cock it and make sure I got one in the chamber. But as long as you got it on safe, you're good to go. But let me show you how this sticky holster works. And some of you, if you want one, go to your gun store tomorrow and get one. But, it just fits down in there real snug like that. And then if you concealed carry, what you want to do, you can put it anywhere. I like putting mine right here. I stick it down in there like that right there. And so, and I move it around if I go in a restaurant or whatever. But you can't really see that I got, a weapon on me, right? So if you got to get to it, you just, you got it right here in your hand, you're ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Or you can put it over here. You can put it on the side. Some of you like to have it on your side. Some of you put it over here on this side. Some like to put it behind, but this sticky holster just, doesn't have any bulky clips or anything. So for you concealed carry people, I highly recommend you check it out, okay? Also wanted to talk about shotguns. For home protection, a lot of people want to know, what should I use? Well, you can't beat a good old Mossberg 590 Intimidator Riot shotgun. Oh, now let me tell y'all something real quick. Do you know why they invented the Riot shotgun? I'll tell you why. Because when a mob assembles, now I want all of you to remember this, because if Antifa or BLM or any other freakazoid group comes into your suburb or your neighborhood and comes in as a mob with the intent to destroy, if they light a Molotov cocktail or they start shooting those damn fireworks like they've done in a lot of cities, all bets are off. Individual rights go away because the individuals that make up that mob, they've decided that that's what they're going to do. They're going to get together in mass and cause hate, fear, destruction. So, and let me tell you something else that the BLM and Antifa are doing. These guys are trained now. They've been trained by these anarchists, and they know what they're doing. One of the latest tactics is they like to wear some kind of thing that designates them as a medic, as a non-combative. So imagine this: the arsonists that are going to come to burn down your house, they're going to have a bunch of them with medical, Red Cross, whatever, posing as an anarchist medical, service person. They're free game too. Shoot their asses at long range. And again, a lot of you neighborhood militia groups and people that are getting together, you need to have some snipers in your group that, if these people start coming, and it's declared a full-out civil war, which I think is going to happen, they become, if they're headed towards your area, you ain't got to wait till they get in and start burning shit down. But when it comes to a mob, you might want to have a good old Mossberg mob riot gun. And I'll show you why. That's why. Because you can keep a lot of rounds in your weapon. This one here holds about, I think, 8. It holds 8 in the tube. So 7 in one, I guess. 7 in one in the chamber and 7 in the tube. But anyway, I wanted to show you a couple of those things. And then, of course, you always got your old trusty 357. I love that bad boy. But I tell you, you'll have a hell of a time finding speed loaders. These speed loaders are designed to just, once you fire your 6 rounds, you dump out your empty shells, and then you just drop your speed loader down in there, and then turn it loose and off you go. So anyway, there's a little something here for everybody, and I hope everybody's ready because based on the intel I'm receiving, this is pretty much inevitable. This Sunrise group and many others have been planning ever since 2016. They've been planning for this very thing, that if Trump should by some hook or crook survive through his first 4 years, under no circumstances are the globalists, the New World Order crowd, the United Nations, CDC, all those freakzoids that want to control the planet, under no circumstances are they going to allow Trump another 4 years, because they know that would be their complete demise. So here's the word on the street. They've got phases set up. The first phase is going to start tomorrow. This is where Antifa and BLM, it's going to probably start after 4 p.m. Eastern, because the BLM, Antifa folks in D.C. have been given orders to assemble at 4 p.m. at BLM Plaza. And then they're going to, I don't know at what time they plan to storm the White House, but they plan to siege. They're going to put a siege on the White House, and they're going to force President Trump to leave. And they're hoping that as they start burning the cities again and killing people, they're going to blame it all on President Trump, the dictator, and his inability or his unwillingness to leave the White House. And they're going to try to bribe President Trump and say, we're going to continue to riot, loot, kill until you concede and decide to leave the White House. Well, that's bullshit. That's not going to happen. I'm admonishing the president to declare the Insurrection Act Sign it immediately and allow the active duty Marines and 82nd and all those guys to prepare and get ready to hit the streets to clean up the streets, because it's going to take more than the National Guard, sir. The National Guard is being told to stand down. You cannot trust General Milley. There are traitorous generals, to include the likes of Jim Mad Dog Mattis. That's right, friends. That's a Marine talking to you. Yeah, he was the genius that caused so many Marines to be killed in Fallujah. Remember Fallujah, Iraq? Marines, have you forgotten? I don't think so. Okay, well, you thank General Mad Dog Mattis for that fiasco. But what they plan to do, now listen carefully, they want to take over all the federal buildings in all of these 400 cities where they've set up the pods. A pod means they have federal employees inside the federal building. Now listen carefully to what I'm telling you, friends, because this is not BS. This is straight scoop. They have federal people inside the federal buildings that are willing to take up arms against their co-workers who might happen to be Trump supporters. They are willing to go so far as to kill them. So if any of you Trump supporters happen to work in a federal building anywhere in the United States, you better have your damn head on a swivel, and you better be prepared to take action to save your life or the lives of your co-workers. Because this is hard intel. This is not speculation. This is not computer gaming. Now, let me tell you what we're going to have to contend with. Do you know what a 60 millimeter mortar is? Well, if you don't, you better look it up. 60 millimeter mortar. There are tons of them that have been pre-positioned across America for Antifa and BLM to grab. Now, a mortar is a tube that you drop an explosive round down into, and when it hits the bottom, it fires back out, but it fires out and you arc it. Now, what they plan to do is use the 60 millimeter mortars to rain HE, heavy explosive rounds, down onto the top of the federal buildings. They're going to attack with mortar rounds. They want to blow up the federal buildings, and then they want to seize and take over the federal buildings. This is how they plan to take down the United States government. Well, they've got one problem, they meaning the Democrats' demons that are behind this. They got one problem that they really didn't factor in properly, and that's the patriots, okay? That's the veterans, hardcore, seasoned veterans that have been fighting urban warfare, desert warfare for 20 years now. So they don't know what they're dealing with. And when the veterans unleash on the adversary, it's going to be a sight to behold. Okay? But it's going to happen. Because we, the people, the patriots, are not going to allow these demons to take over our country. You know, I swore an oath. I took an oath to protect my country and my Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. You know, that's Matt Bracken's website, enemiesforeignanddomestic.com. Matt Bracken, former Navy SEAL, he's a warrior. You want him on your side in a firefight. Just like Mike Adams, he's the same way. There are great Americans all around this country that are... Now, for the last several days, I've been going around to all the different gun shops around and ammo places around the Boise area, stocking up on what I need. I needed 5.56. I was having a hard time finding it. Finally, I went to my son. I said, man, do you know where I can get any 5.56? And he told me. He said, check out this place, Dad. Went over there. They had the best supply ever. I bought more than I should have, but you could never have enough. So, and I've been taking all those 5.56, and I'm buying magazines for them. I don't want any loose rounds hanging around. I want to be able to just grab a new mag and pop it in and off I go. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to get caught with not enough ammo. And remember what I said. Your weapon is only as good as the ammo that you're shooting. You get a hang fire, you get a stoppage, you use this SOL. You don't want that. You want to be able to rain continuous fire down on your enemy. Do you know what the mission statement of the United States Marine Corps is, Fran? I bet you some of you do. But then again, some of you may not. So can I just take a second and share it with you? It's to locate, close with, and destroy the enemy by fire and maneuver, or to repel the enemy's assault by fire and close combat. Get some. Fire means rounds on the target. And maneuver, you got to be able to shoot, move, and communicate. You don't want, when you're fighting the enemy, you don't want to stay in one spot. You keep moving around. Keep them guessing. Keep them trying to figure out where you're coming from. But listen, if it hits a fan in the next few days and you start seeing Antifa literally taking over federal buildings, I just want to tell you, patriots out there, you need to do your thing, especially you veterans that took that oath. And when you go to save a federal building or a federal officer or a law enforcement officer, you have every right to do that during a full-blown insurrection. And if you start seeing mortar rounds dropping on federal buildings, you just aim to kill. You just make sure you're true with your, make sure you got them weapons sighted in. I don't want you to get caught, not know what's going on. It's called dope. You got to have the right dope on your weapon so you can make sure you're going to hit your target, Last thing you want to do is shoot at something and not be able to hit it because your dope is all messed up. You know what I mean? But friends, let me tell you something. There were 3 hard drives that were delivered to the United States over the last few days from a Chinese whistleblower. That's right. Believe it or not, Xiao Jinping, the head of the Communist Party in China, he has enemies. And I've often said, if China is ever to take their country back, now let me tell you what. If you're like me, you love the Chinese people. I like Chinese food. I like Chinese culture. I like a lot of things about the Chinese people. They've had a culture going on this planet for a long, long time. They're very smart people. But I've said to my Chinese friends, if you're ever going to take and defeat communism, it's going to have to come from within and without. Now, I can tell you that we, the American people, whether you know it or not, we are at war with China. China has been the biggest funder of Joe Biden's election attempt. If you don't know by now that Joe Biden is 100% owned and controlled by the Chinese communists, then you don't have a damn clue. The Chinese communists own the Democratic Party. They own Hillary Clinton. They own the Bushes, the Obamas. And you need to realize why all these nut jobs are voting for Biden. Because they're all part of the global crime syndicates. The Bushes are terrible. They're no better than the Clintons. Nobody's better than the Obamas. They're all in the boat together. And I do believe with all of my heart and soul that on the day after the election, you're going to start to see massive arrest. President Trump has to strike fast. He has to strike hard because the Democrats are going to do that with the cities. But we have to shut it down as quickly as it starts. Now, mobs, again, have no individual rights. That's why you got a riot shotgun that shoots buckshot. If you aim it at a crowd, a mob, you have every right to do that. If you take out an Antifa medic from 300 or 400 or even 500 meters, you have every right to do that if they're coming in your neighborhood. And I'm talking about a 308, 30-06, maybe a 7mm Magnum. I'm talking about reaching out and touching somebody from long range. I'm not talking about, your shotgun, which is going to be used in close range home protection. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I got a little jam in this one. I'm glad I did that so I could figure out what the issue was. I got it fixed now. But anyway, friends, I hope you got your ammo. I hope you got your food storage. I hope you got lots of water. If you're lacking in any of those things, I would highly encourage you to get out tomorrow, early tomorrow, and make those last minute purchases. If you need some ammo, go out and get it tomorrow, as soon as you can, because it's just crazy. But getting back to the Chinese whistleblower, there were 3 hard drives. And on this third hard drive, we found out some things that were, a lot of us, and I know many of you already know about chimeras. You know that chimeras exist. 20 years ago, when Alex Jones was talking about chimeras and super soldiers and genetic modifications in the lab, many of you laughed at him. You thought he was funny. But you're not laughing now, because on that hard drive, we see just what the Chinese communists have been up to. We know that they are making preparations for another biochemical attack on the world. Do you know where the name COVID-19 comes from? I'm surprised when I meet people that say, no, I don't really understand the 19. What's that all about, Steve? Well, that's the year that the virus was finalized in Wuhan. And do you know what has come out? There is so much incriminating evidence that has come out from the Hunter Biden laptops. I don't want to get into it, but I'll tell you some of the stuff. We're seeing names on the Hunter Biden laptops of rhinos, Republicans in name only. And, when President Trump at these rallies, I've been to 4 of them in the last couple of weeks, so I got a good idea what he says at these rallies. But he's talked about the rhinos. He knows, he's seen the list of the rhinos' names that were on Hunter Biden's laptop. I've said for several years now, I've said when the truth comes out about Uranium One, about how Hillary Clinton and many of the D.C. politicians sold 20% of our military-grade enriched uranium to Vladimir Putin. And would you believe that Robert Mueller, longtime director of the FBI, would you believe that he flew to Moscow, landed on the tarmac, did not get out of his plane, and had a meeting with one of Vladimir Putin's top people and handed him the first sampling of the uranium? Now, why in the hell would the director of the FBI, Robert Mueller, former Marine officer in Vietnam, Bronze Star winner, why would he fly on a private FBI jet to Moscow and hand deliver military-grade uranium to a Soviet agent? I'll tell you why. Because they're all crooked as hell. And when that freaking Rosenstein assigned Mueller to do the investigation, I used to think that was a plan. It was a sting operation. That's the ignorance of youth. Now I know better. Now I got more information. Now I know that Rosenstein was rotten to the core. So was Jeff Sessions. I used to think Sessions was a good guy. Bullshit. President Trump can't stand him. And I can tell you, things are not as they seem. But finally, after 4 years, our president has narrowed it down to the people that he can trust. He knows he can trust Rick Grinnell. He knows he can trust Hope Hicks. he can trust Steve Miller, and he knows he can trust Steve Motley. And I told you I got something in the works that it's actually blowing my mind. But, it's my plan A. But if plan A, for whatever reason, which I don't think it will, but if it falls through, then my plan B is to run for governor of Idaho in 2022. And don't laugh. I don't want any of you out there laughing because I'm dead damn serious. I'm as serious as a heart attack because we got duped. We got duped by the Boise mayor, who's a freaking leftist, the likes of which you've never seen. She came out shortly after she was elected, and she's elected to 6 freaking years? Bullshit. We're going to get her recalled, okay? And there's a big recall petition going around Idaho, Boise area to get enough signatures to get her liberal ass out and send her packing back to California where she came from. But the same thing happened with Brad Little. Brad Little got elected by the Trump people here in Idaho because he made all kind of promises that he didn't keep. President Trump has kept his promises, and he's promised to drain the swamp, and I know damn well he's going to do it, okay? But just understand, friends, when this thing goes down, you're going to be a participant in it whether you want to be or not. And so you better gird up your loins. You better start praying as you never have before because we're in a dire situation. These globalists, they're going to continue to push the vaccines. They're going to continue to push the lockdowns. But they've got a COVID-21 planned. Now, whether they release it or not, we'll see. But they want to keep you wearing the face diapers indefinitely. So we know these cause lung cancer. We know that they cause all sorts of respiratory problems over long time use. Why do you think the damn Chinese Communist Party pushes to their people to wear these things all the time? Nobody in America ever thought of doing something so stupid. This is not about protecting you from viruses. It's about controlling you. And I'm just beside myself. I went to Cracker Barrel for dinner tonight. Still, you got to wear these damn things in if you get up from that table. Isn't that about the stupidest thing? Oh, you don't have to wear them sitting at your table eating, whether you're sneezing and coughing and all of that shit. But if you get up from the table to go to the bathroom, you got to put on your diaper. Bullshit. It's time. I think a lot of things are going to happen after the landslide victory. But remember what I said. The Democrats are going to contest it. They're going to say that Biden won. We had these liberal Supreme Court judges that have ruled in favor that Pennsylvania gets an extra 8 days to count ballots. North Carolina gets extra days. New Jersey gets extra days. Oh, isn't it interesting that these states all have Democratic governors and mayors and that sort of thing? Friends, you know about the UN Agenda 2030, right? By 2030, the UN promises the world that there will no longer be national sovereignty. No nation states will continue to exist. It'll be a new world order. And in order to become a member of that, you have to take the vaccines, you have to get the chip, and you have to pledge your allegiance to Lucifer. Lucifer runs the United Nations. Lucifer runs the the CDC and the World Health Organization. For years now, I've been pleading with President Trump to remove the United States out of the UN and then get the UN out of the United States. I finally think we are going to see that happen shortly after the election. I think one of the first things we'll see after the election is the firing of Christopher Wray. He's a traitor. I would fire I'd fire everybody in the FBI. I'd start all over from scratch. But at least the top 1,000 to 1,500 people working from the top of the FBI down, I'd get rid of 1,500 straight off, keep the rest. But if there's any Hillary or Obama supporters in the remainder, get them out too. No Hillary, Obama types are allowed to remain in government, period. I don't give a damn where they are. Especially goes for the CIA. And once these people are proven traitors, there needs to be mass hangings. The public needs to be invited. They need to witness this. They need to get this into their psychological psyche and know that this will never be tolerated again. America treats their traitors harshly. There is no place in American life for traitors. So Joe Biden is saying it's going to be a dark winter. Joe Biden says you don't need to campaign for me because I'm a shoo-in. The Democratic Party has promised I'm going to win. Well, friends, I hope you're ready because they're going to let out all the stops. They're going to burn down the cities. They're going to create power outages. They're going to attack the servers. They're going to attack the cell towers. They're pushing hard for another lockdown. If we allow a second lockdown in America, we're done. They're trying to destroy all of our culture, all of our national holidays like Thanksgiving. They're attacking our traditions. They want to do away with the family unit. They're removing God and statues of Jesus Christ they want to get it out of your psyche. And then those sons of bitches in Lexington, Virginia, at the Virginia Military Institute, who voted unanimously to remove the statue of General Stonewall Jackson. Shame on you, you freakazoids! VMI? Are you kidding me? What the hell has happened to Virginia? You Virginians better get your ass up to Richmond and take over that freaking blue city. If the shit hits a fan and these demons start acting out in Richmond, all you good old boys, you know what to do. Get your asses up there and take care of business and save your state and save your country. You understand? But listen to me. This third hard drive that came out from the Chinese whistleblower has exposed all kinds of stuff. Now, I've told y'all that even though the Chinese people are wonderful people, the Chinese Communist Party are the dregs of the world. They are the worst of the worst. They are the ones that go to the homes of dissidents, put them in handcuffs, take them out and put them in the white vans, and on the way to the airport, they not only kill them, but they dismember their bodies, pack their organs on ice, go to the airport and mail off the organs to people all around the world that need them. That's who we're dealing with the Chinese communists. Now, I've been telling y'all that there could be a ray of dawn. Do not overlook this. The Chinese have nothing to lose and everything to gain, just like Antifa. Antifa and BLM are so brainwashed that they are willing to take to the streets starting tomorrow and start killing patriots. Oh, by the way, they're going to be acting out. They're going to be posing as patriots. They're going to commit crimes like, maybe, let's say, like if they want to jam up the traffic, all they got to do is create a truck explosion on a bridge somewhere, and that'll back up traffic for the rest of the day. So don't expect the unexpected. Don't wear red MAGA hats. All you patriots out there watching this, do not wear red MAGA hats until further notice. Get you something camouflaged, but they're going to try to impersonate patriots. Be on the lookout for that. If you see one, do whatever you got to do. But, the Democrats are saying that vote for us or we'll burn down America. And we'll burn it to the ground. And Joe Biden, he endorses that kind of shit. If you were to say, vote for us or we'll burn your city to the ground, he'd say, I'm Joe Biden and I approve of this message. That's how deranged he is. But just remember, 400 hubs across the country. Now, they want to project weakness on us. They want to make us feel like we are powerless to do anything. They're going to try to bribe President Trump to step down so that the rioting and looting and killing will stop. No, there will be no stepping down. And it's going to be a lot different. They may think they can hold their own in the urban environment, but once they move to the country and the suburbs, warfare takes on a whole different meaning and a whole different set of tactics and strategy. And they'll find out. Now, I'm encouraging all the patriots to have a good shovel, have a good pick and shovel, because I don't know what you're going to want to do with those dead bodies. But I would say just bury their ass in the backyard. Because, if you call, here's the thing. If these terrorists start to terrorize your neighborhood and come in as a mob and start throwing Molotov cocktails, you need to start racking up the KIAs. You need to start putting people in body bags and burying them wherever you got to, doing whatever you got to do. But the damn cops are not going to respond. They're not going to come show up. They're going to have their asses, they're going to have enough time just defending their police stations. You think they're going to come and respond to BLM coming through your neighborhood with weapons? No, hell no. Now, the Chinese, I don't know if you're aware of this, but they're mass producing vaccines. Oh, hell yeah. They want to get in on the vaccine scene, so they're making really, really cheap vaccines. Do you realize, friends, how many of our pharmaceutical drugs we were relying on China to produce for us? Shit, about 90%. Well, that's all changing. During this emergency declaration with the pandemic, President Trump's been doing a whole lot of things that you may not be aware of. But when I tell you that the Chinese have been creating half animal, half human super soldiers, some of you may remember a couple years ago, I shared a video with you about, it was from a guy from the Delta Force. He goes by the name of Sergeant Major X. Do y'all remember that? I think the demons took down that video, but in it, Sergeant Major X talked about the Special Forces team that got wiped out by that Chimera up in the mountains of the Sahara Nevada range, where I used to go to mountain warfare school, Pickle Meadows, California. Some of you Marines know about it. You've been there. Shit, some of the hardest training I ever got involved in. But I'm telling you, friends, the BLM, they mean business. Now, the latest thing, they are selling ransom signs. Well, what the hell is a BLM ransom sign? Well, if you buy one for about 50, I think they got different denominations. They start at $50, $100, and $200. But if you buy one of these things and display it clearly in your window of your house will be skipped over. Your house will not be burned. Now imagine that. They're selling signs or notes that you can purchase and to avoid getting your house destroyed. Well, what about the cyber attacks? Yeah, they're coming. Don't worry about that. You better figure out a way to communicate with your loved ones if you don't already have a backup ham radio operation. But let me tell you that Hunter Biden, those hard drives, they're revealing some names that if I told you about it, you'd shake your head and say, no way. Well, you'll see. You'll see. All is going to be exposed. But look, they might hit the power grid. I don't think they'll do an EMP because the EMP can be very easily traced back to the country of origin. And China knows if they drop an EMP over America, Beijing is going to be nuked off the damn planet. Beijing will be turned into a parking lot. And I'm not playing because President Trump's not going to put up with this crap. Now, we saw a major power outage in Boston, Massachusetts. They shot, close to the Lexington area where the shot was heard around the world. Well, I don't know, but Biden's calling for a dark winter. Does he know something we don't? But what will people do for food? What will people do for water? They'll do a lot of crazy things, and that's why, if we have a zombie apocalypse, these full metal jackets, these 5.56 NATO rounds, they'll come in handy. And I'll just show you. I like Federal. They make a pretty good round. But these 5.56, they're not cheap anymore, let me tell you. And then, of course, like I said, I got the 357s. I like Blazer. If you're looking to go to the gun store tomorrow, ask if you got a 9mm, ask for Blazer. That's a good brand. Anywho, I'm getting down to the end here, friends. I've been going for a little over an hour, and I didn't want to make this a big, long, drawn-out video tonight because I know many of you are anxious to get out there and vote. I hope you're listening to this after you get up on Tuesday morning, Election Day. Congratulations. We made it to this day of infamy, this day that will go down in history forever, because it's a day of you choosing whether you want patriotism and whether you want freedom and liberty or you want communism. That's a choice you got to make. And you know who's who. But the Sunrise Movement has now been fully exposed. I know you're aware of the Operation Red Mirage. Basically, Red Mirage says even though Trump wins by this red landslide, the Demon Rats, Pelosi and that gang are saying it's not real, it's only a mirage. It's an oasis in the desert. It's a product of the Nazi Trump followers. We're not going to concede to Trump's victory until all the ballots are in, and they're trying to get more and more people to believe that the mail-in ballots are the way to go. We have found corruption at every turn. We know for a fact that there's no way that a mail-in vote can be honest because they're just cheating their ass off. But in addition to some of those people I mentioned earlier, I would love to see President Trump on Wednesday. I would love to see him fire AG Barr. I know Barr has done a few apparently worthy things, but again, I don't trust him. So I'd get rid of him too. But we also heard recently that Hunter Biden is having a breakdown because he had a $1 million contract with the top spy, the chief spy of the Chinese Communist Party, Patrick Ho. But word is that this past Friday, Hunter Biden went into a treatment facility per Giuliani, his involvement, and the president, and that he is now quarantined and being treated but he's also spilling the beans on the Biden family. That's the word on the street. Now, you can believe that or not. I think there's a lot of truth in it. I think Hunter probably left those hard drives in the store in the hopes that they would be found. I think he had reached his threshold of pain. I think he's been in so much pain over all this, emotionally and physically, that he's just thrown in the towel. And I think we, the people, and President Trump have so much incriminating data against the deep state that they're going to be put down forever. I think the Democratic Party should be completely annihilated. It should no longer exist. And we should get rid of all parties and just have one party called the American Party. We the People Party. Promises made, promises kept. Well, Biden has never kept a single promise he's made in 47 years. And, they're working, they meaning the New World Order, the CDC, along with the Border Patrol, certain agents, they went to Europe and came up with a plan that if you don't get the vaccine, you don't get no food. So they're tying the vaccine into your food consumption. They're tying it into your travel, both internationally and interstate. And if you don't have your papers in line, if you don't have your proper vaccines, you won't even be able to travel from Idaho to Utah to visit Aunt Molly at Thanksgiving. Okay? But President Trump alone is a total indictment against America's ruling class who think they run the world. Well, we got news for them. And there is, in fact, a swamp, and it is extremely deep. But political correctness is strangling the freedoms of America. But I would also immediately fire General Milley. He's a deep state globalist. I would fire Mark Esper, the Army Secretary, and then I'd bring in some people that President Trump can absolutely trust. I know there's a lot of people that are currently being vetted. There are going to be people you've never heard of taking over certain positions within the White House without. Now, you notice you don't see that 17th letter anywhere on my wall anymore. That's because it's like, if you do that, they can take you down. President Trump finished up very strong tonight on the campaign trail in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I fully suspect the president to take Michigan. The outpouring of support and the loyal dedication to our president it rivals anything we've ever seen in America. And for that freaking Joe Biden to have a slogan like "Battle for the Soul of the Nation." Imagine that. Battle for the soul of the nation. Well, if Joe Biden is the soul of the nation, we're in deep kimchi, because that sumbitch don't know how to get out of the rain. And this red mirage is, in fact, not going to be a mirage. It's going to be a tsunami. And, that you must understand that the Democrat, BLM, Antifa group has, in fact, a plan, a coup. They plan to take over the White House. They plan to win. Biden wins by mail-in ballots, regardless of what the true outcomes are. And here we are. I guess time will prove, or time will show what became of all of this. But I can tell you that there is nothing that the Democrats will not attempt to win, because they know if they lose, it's Katie bar the door. President Trump and the Patriots are going to unleash on their ass like never before. So be prepared, friends. Expect the unexpected. Go get several more cases of water. Get a few more boxes of ammo. If you need to go buy that weapon, go ahead and buy it tomorrow. But to make sure you vote. There are no votes that don't count. No matter how big of a tsunami or red wave you think it's going to be. We know that the cheating on the part of the Democrats is going to be unheard of. Nobody's ever seen the likes of what they're going to try to pull. So be vigilant, keep your head on a swivel, and vote, and then be prepared for war, because when the balloon goes up, you patriots understand, right? It's do what you got to do to protect your country, yourself, and your fellow man, and especially your family. So there you have it, friends. Their allegiance is to Lucifer. Our allegiance is to God. And we believe in our POTUS, and we're going to do what we can to get him reelected. Okay? But don't forget the breadbasket of America, the California Central Valley, is drying up. It's terrible. So be prepared. Do what you can to help yourself and your neighbors and fellow human beings. And I'll see you again as soon as I can. I've gone 1 hour and 10 minutes, but I hope I've gotten the point across. I hope you understand just how dire this is. I called my son today and I said, listen to me, man. If you've ever listened, do not go to work tomorrow without your weapons. The demons do not hate, they do not like successful businesses. They don't like capitalism. They're socialist, communist, and that's the way they want to make America. Make America communist again. I don't know when it was communist, but if I got anything to do with it, it never will be. God bless you, my patriot, my deplorable chump friends. You're the best of the best that humanity has to offer, and I'm honored and proud to be your friend and to be standing strong with you during the war, during the battle. I won't leave your side. I got your six, and I hope you say the same about me. But friends, in conclusion, I want to admonish everybody to pray like never before. Prayer works, and faith does precede the miracle. So we don't know exactly what's going to happen, but if it gets ugly, hang in there. Keep the faith and know that God wins in the end. And so do you. So I love you, friends. I appreciate you. I'm so glad to be back with my extended family. I've told y'all that. If you're a YouTube viewer, if you subscribe to my channel, if you watch my videos as often as you can, then you're part of the Motley Crew. You're a patriot, and I consider you my friend and my extended family. So with that, I'm going to bid you all farewell, fair winds and following seas, and may you be completely armed and dangerous. And don't forget, on the plains of hesitation lie the bleached bones of those who rested and while resting died. There is no time to rest. Again, sticky holster. Oh, no, that's not. Oh, shit, this is the other one. I didn't show you this. Here's another 9mm. Yeah, I believe in making sure you got what you need, but that's your standard holster. It's just like you can put it on your belt loop. This has got a place to put it on your belt. It's a good little holster. It's got a little protection snap here. You just put it in there and snap it in so it don't fall out or whatever. But that's an alternative holster if you like. But again, I like the sticky holster. And let me show it to you one more time. It's called STICKY. Sticky holsters. Anyway, they fit real good for concealed carry. But Steve, I don't have a concealed carry permit. So what? Some man-made laws are meant to be broken, and in a time of war, what are you going to do? You just going to follow that dumbass man-made order and worry about getting arrested for not following that order? Bullshit. You better think about your health and wellness. You better think about your posterity coming behind you. Do you want them to live in a communist dictatorship, or you want them to live as free men and women? The choice is yours, and you got to make it today, friends. So I hope you'll choose wisely. Straight red ticket. Straight red ticket. Straight red ticket. You'll get it. Okay, God bless you. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm praying for you. I hope you pray for me, and together we're going to get through this BS, and we're going to come out the backside better than we went in. Because I do believe what don't kill you only makes you stronger. Is that true? I don't know. We'll find out. But I'll talk to you again, friends, and be looking for another video before the end of the election tomorrow. All right. Talk to you soon. God bless. Sleep well. Keep one eye open. Don't shoot till you see the whites of the eyes, All right. Bye now.